Welcome to the Right Hand Roadmap, the podcast for seconds in command of founder-led companies. I'm your host, Megan Long, owner of Second First. In each episode, we show you the path to success on your journey as the #2 leader in entrepreneurial companies. I am so happy you are here. Today, we're going to be talking about setting boundaries as a second in command. Last week, we discussed how always being available to your team isn't actually a good characteristic. And the same goes for your CEO. How you frame boundaries is very important. When a second in command addresses boundaries with their entrepreneur or with their CEO, usually that person hears scarcity, limits, restrictions, and they are typically a personality that highly values freedom and flexibility. So when we discuss boundaries today, it's important that it is clarified as the fact that we're setting agreed upon expectations on how to achieve maximum productivity and results. This is you just saying, here is how you will get me at my absolute best, which should be music to their ears. This all begins with you getting crystal clear on what you want. So start by asking yourself, what does work-life balance or work-life presence, because we all know there's no such thing as balance, mean to you? It will look different to everyone. Is it daily flexibility? Being able to run errands during the day and finish up work after dinner? Is it being able to work a 4-day work week when necessary to accompany your kid to travel sports? Or is it working hard and taking 2 weeks off at a time for family vacations? Again, it'll look different to everyone what that work-life fit looks like. The next piece that you need to get clear on are what hours do you expect to be available to your CEO, and what hours do you expect the CEO to be available to you? When you think this one through, please think through your personal relationships as well. So if it really bothers your partner or your spouse when you're replying to texts from your CEO late at night, that's probably a boundary that you should set just out of love and respect to your partner, even if it doesn't bother you. Now, there's compromise here. So when we start any one-on-one coaching engagement with a second in command, we begin with what we call launch day between them and their CEO. It's a half-day workshop where we work through a handful of exercises about both their partnership and the business. And this has come up where the entrepreneur says, I hear you and I respect that and those hours. But when I think of things at 11 p.m., I have to send it right then and there. Otherwise, I know I'll forget. So usually just making an agreement with them of, that's totally fine. You can send all the messages you want at any hour of the night. Just know that I won't reply until the morning. Different than the hours that you expect to be available is, what is your sacred time that you wish to be absolutely unavailable? So this is your D&D off the map, untouchable time. So communicate this with your CEO. It could be a Sunday family dinner with your extended family. It could be when you're coaching your kid's softball game. Whatever that sacred time is, just make sure that you are absolutely unreachable during this time. Going back to conversations I've had in the past, I have been in those launch days where a second in command says, well, nights and weekends. Okay, well, because of the nature of the position, that's probably not realistic for that to always be sacred, untouchable time. So move that up to your expected availability, the question before this. But your sacred time is when, even if your CEO is experiencing something that they think that they really need your help with, they know, okay, it's 2 p.m. I know that they coach from 2 to 4. I'll wait till 4. Okay, it is sacred. The next thing for you to get clarity on is, are there any meetings or activities that you find are completely out of alignment from your natural behavior or goals. So this takes a lot of self-awareness on your part, but if you feel like you have something on your list, or if you are accountable for something that you feel is just totally out of whack with who you are and your strengths, bring this up with your CEO. This is a good personal boundary to explore. Maybe you are a very operations minded, introverted, analytical executive, and somehow you ended up managing the sales team. You're uncomfortable. You don't really know how to drive performance. You don't have experience in that position, and it's very much outside of your natural abilities. So you might not be able to shed it immediately, but it's important to have a discussion with your CEO so they know what's best for the business and start to put together a plan on hiring a sales manager to offload it in the future. And finally, how will you commit to staying refreshed with a full battery so you can show up for your entrepreneur at 100%? This is often overlooked, but what refills your cup and recharges your battery? Whatever it is, make sure you are making it a priority each week. Again, going back to these coaching kickoffs with clients, these hobbies are important for entrepreneurs to make sure that their most important employee, you, doesn't get burnt out. They want you to make time for this. I want you to make time for this. Take that morning walk, go work on your art in the evening, volunteer, whatever it is that adds additional meaning, enjoyment, and rejuvenation to your week. To find show notes and links for anything mentioned in this episode, visit secondfirst.com/27. Be sure to subscribe to catch future episodes and leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. That really helps us out. Remember, you don't have to navigate being a second in command alone when you have the right hand roadmap.